Hello, Durudin Shalom. Guys, I have Goldie back.
Hi,
Hey.
great to be back.
Yes, Goldie is also sick like me. So, two sick Iranians are going to be defending Israel today against these anti Zionists. Oh my God, I've been recovering from this. I have all these candies here these are anti cough medicine that I'm doing. Guys, so I might be taking it during the stream. So, sorry about my voice. How long have you had it? Are you okay now? Like, how long has it been?
I've had it for 2 days now. So yesterday was really
2
bad. It
days.
started on sorry, it started on Sunday. I know, right? There you go. It started on Sunday. Yesterday was bad, but I powered through my live stream, and then today I powered through my live stream again because it was important. It was about the Nigerian genocide. And now I'm here. So I'm happy. So because I'm hoping you'll do most of the talking and I'll just sip my honey ginger tea.
Maybe Allah is punishing us. Is that it? Like Allah is trying to take our voice because we're no, is that possible?
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
No.
It's only a joke that you would make. Only a joke that you would make. I mean, if that's the worst punishment from Allah, I would be happy. But unfortunately, there's worse that they
He's
do.
not very strong. That's all he gets. Okay. Yeah, all right. So today, have you seen this channel? We're reviewing today. By the way, guys, hi in the chat. Let me see who's here. Jack is here. Anush, Jeremy, Bala, Mehran, Flying Robot Duck, Nail Bunny, Source, Jackie, Wub, Roy. Roy doesn't come often, so when he comes, I get happy. The Dajjal, Source, and okay, yeah, it's fantastic. Riz is here. So this is a channel that I use often to see what the Jew haters are saying. It's called Breezy Politics. So it goes and clips, it celebrates these anti-Zionists. It goes and clips their mic drop moments from whatever they're talking, and basically it gets a lot of views. Like you can see, this one has got 31,000 likes, right? So just there's one short. So this very popular channel, Breezy Politics.
So they're basically they're like an anti-Israel channel.
Yes, they're an anti-Israeli channel, and they just go and they don't care if you're left, if you're right. They don't care. They just go and gather anybody that is anti. Hold on, let me actually show you their page. If I could go here. So if you look at here, yeah, so it has almost 1 million subscribers and it's getting a lot of views. If I go here and I go to shorts, so each one of these shorts, 300,000, 300,000, 500,000, 500,000, 1 million here, 300,000. So Jew hatred and anti-Israeli content is very popular.
It's a business, unfortunately. These jihadis are making money off of it.
Yeah. But it's also a good source for me to quickly get updated on the most recent thing that anti-Zionists are saying. And by the way, I haven't pre-selected these. I'm just going to scroll through the latest ones. And I thought we'd just watch together and see what we think about them. I don't even know what they're going to say, so we'll see. Okay.
So it's like a blind test. We're just going
a blind test.
Oh my gosh.
We're just going in blind. We might be like, okay. All right. So let's watch this first one.
Zionist president of the United States.
Wait, let me actually go up and then down.
Donald Trump might be the most Zionist president of the United States in history, but he might be the last one, because Israel is going to be permanently controversialized now. It's the most criminal regime in the world, and they are a dead letter, name is mud on the left, and more on the right all the time. It's something like 50-50 on the right now. People are sick and tired of being lied to and condescended to and used and abused in this way. I mean, for all the people listening to this or watching this, think Benjamin Netanyahu respects you? And this is a guy who has said on multiple occasions, in fact, on September 11th, he told the New York Times,
good for Israel.
This is very good. Donald Trump might be the...
Okay. What do you think?
I think that's first of all, who is this guy? I've never heard of this guy.
Oh, he gets invited. I forgot his name, but he gets invited on so many panels. He's been on Piers Morgan a lot of times. I know his face. He's very famous, but I don't know.
I have no idea who he is. But I mean, it's all like the talking points, right? And you know, like this reminds me of something that like Ayatollah Khamenei says, right? Like you could put this guy in a Friday sermon in the Islamic Republic occupying Iran right now, and he would fit right in, right? It's like all of this propaganda, anti-Israel nonsense. It's very familiar to me as an Iranian, because this is the same nonsense we've been hearing from the Islamic regime for the last 47 years. So, I mean, this might sound new and whatever to you know, people in the West, but this rhetoric is it's the same rhetoric as the Islamic Republic, and it's all just like propaganda, no facts, and then like the idiot kid who's like just listening to him, just nodding along and doesn't say anything. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so his name, people are saying Scott Horton, and I'm looking about what do you think about what he said regarding. So yeah, I mean, you're right. Like a lot of his the arguments that he makes is in line with the people that you mentioned. But what do you think about what he said regarding Prime Minister Netanyahu? Because it's one thing to say that this made United States more aligned with us. It's another thing to celebrate it. You know what I mean? So, for example, me as an Iranian could celebrate the fact that Israelis and Iranians have are aligned with their goals. They have mutual interests. Okay, but somebody could take what I'm saying and say, like, okay, but what happened? Why are we aligned? Because Islamic and like the Islamic Republic and Hamas has also been killing Israelis. So Armin, are you suggesting that you're happy that Hamas been killing Israelis? Do you know what I mean? Like if you celebrate the fact that now Israel or America is aligned with your interests, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're celebrating the event that happened. You know, me like does that make sense?
I 100% agree, and that makes sense completely, and that's exactly what Netanyahu was saying. But that's how these propagandists and, you know, anti-Semites operate. They take a clip, they take it out of context, and then they say, here's what he said: 9/11 was good for Israel. Well, I mean, the only people who I think would just take that at face value are the low IQ Islamists who don't have the capacity for critical thinking anyway, because anyone can go look it up and see exactly what Prime Minister Netanyahu meant. And yeah, I mean, in a sense, the 9/11 attack did in fact align America's interests more with Israel, because at that point, America recognized the real and very dangerous threat of Islamic terrorism, something that Israel has been dealing with for several decades, more so since 1979 when the Islamic Republic took over. But that's how these propagandists are. They take a talking point, they throw it out there with no context, no factual basis, and people just eat it up, right? It's the ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, it woke them up. It's not like Netanyahu did 9/11. So what does it even mean? Like if
and he conveniently left out the fact that it was actually Palestinians who were celebrating the death of Americans on 9/11. How come he's not speaking?
Oh, that's a good point. Oh, that's such a good point. I'm glad that you said that. That's good. All right. Let's go to
everybody wants peace except Israel. Israel is pushing for war with Iran. I have no sympathy for Israel's policies at all. As an American Jew, I find them disgusting because they have prevented peace. The so-called neocons, who are also the so-called Zionist part of the U.S. government, produced a document that called for 7 wars in the Middle East in 5 years after 2001. And those 7 wars were to take out Israel's enemies. And those 7 wars were Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Somalia, Libya, Sudan, and Iran. And there have been 6 of those wars fought on Israel's behalf.
Okay. That's such a bullshit thing, because Israel is actually fighting on America's behalf. America is not fighting on Israel's behalf. Israel has been participating in more wars, killing America's enemy. It's Israeli soldiers that are participating in the battlefield, dying instead of in place of American soldiers. You should be so grateful to Israel. First of all, when they refer to these reports, do they not understand that in every country there are reports and memos that just pile up on people's desks, suggesting and recommending everything that you could imagine? And this, like in the Pentagon, they're called snowflakes, because this everybody with an opinion produces a report asking for something to happen, and they just pile up on people's desks, and so many people don't even read them. But for conspiracy theorists, there's always this one paper that they could refer to and say that this was all pre-planned. I mean, if that's the case, anything that happens could be seen as pre-planned, because there's always a report somewhere for something, asking for something to happen, and eventually one of them does happen. And it's so disingenuous, because America by itself, after 9/11, was so eager to go and fuck these people up, like without the help of Israel. In fact, Israel was against the United States going into Iraq. They wanted United States to focus on Iran instead of Iraq, but the American politicians were so focused on Iraq. And then when Israel realized that, okay, this is going to happen regardless, they jumped on the bandwagon of supporting American politicians to go into Iraq. But the American politicians were themselves, like the neocons themselves, were very focused on this without the help of Israelis. In fact, the Israelis were waiting to see what the Americans would say, and then allowing them to lead the way. That was what's happening. So this is all bullshit. What do you think?
100%. I mean, I did a quick background search on this guy, and he's probably one of those people who thinks Israel doesn't have a right to exist, right? Like one of those like far leftist Jews in that sense, right? And just looking at him, like the guy's a professor at Columbia University. He worked on sustainable development and economic development. The guy's clearly a far left, right? Like I would even go so far as to say probably like a closet Marxist or communist or socialist or something, right? Because for him, like, let me put it this way. No normal, rational, logical person will ever look at Israel, which is a democratic country, versus Iran, which is occupied by the Islamic Republic, right? Iran is occupied by the most brutal totalitarian dictatorship in the world right now, right? No one's going to look at Israel and the Islamic Republic and claim that Israel is the bad guy unless there's something wrong or they have an agenda, right? Like you have to be an Islamist or a communist to defend the Islamic Republic occupying Iran than you would Israel. And that's just a fact, right? Like no one defends Iran. And that's the other thing. He calls it Iran, right? It's not Iran, it's occupied Iran. It's the Islamic Republic in Iran. So he doesn't speak for us. He doesn't speak for Iranians. And yet they put this out there. And then the other thing that he fails to mention is that all of these, conflicts, Israel never started those conflicts. Israel just wants to live its life. And it's the, jihadis and the Islamic terrorists who begin the war. Israel is just very good at knowing how to defend itself and to end the war. And for him to say, like, Israel's dragging America into this, again, I just want to, repeat the point that you made. It is so important, and people forget about this. When the United States, when Bush wanted to go into Iraq, it was Israel who tried to discourage that. Israel tried to discourage the United States from going into Iraq, and instead they said Iraq's not the problem, it's the Islamic Republic. If you want to do something, focus on the Islamic Republic. United States did not pay attention at that time. That is a fact. That is out there. And the fact that these people are ignoring that fact and blaming Israel, like there's still these conspiracy theories about how, Israel is the reason that United States went to Iraq. Complete and utter nonsense. It's just part of the anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. And I think, these people are getting paid. Follow the money. They're getting paid by someone to defend the Islamic Republic, 100%.
Yeah, and you're right, actually so right, that point, because he says everyone wants peace. Israel is the most peace-loving country in the world. The reason why Israel is the most peace-loving country in the world is because no other country's existence has been threatened as much as Israel. Israel doesn't benefit from war. Israel benefits from stability and peace. When your country is being threatened this much, you don't want war. You want to end war. But what people don't understand is that Israel also understands from its history that the way to get to peace is by destroying the people who want war. You don't get peace by appeasement. You don't get peace by negotiation. You don't get peace by giving into terrorist demand. You get peace by annihilating the people who want to harm your citizens. And that's what people don't understand. People confuse ceasefire with peace. We could see that every time Israel throughout its history, every time it managed to get long-lasting peace, for example, with Egypt or Jordan, it's because they crushed their enemy's ability to fight. That's how they got long-lasting peace. Every time they did appeasement, every time they signed agreements, every time they evacuated Gaza, they got more radical Gaza. Every time they signed an Oslo Accord, they got more terrorist attacks, more bombing. So given their experience, people think like they're warmongering because they're fighting. No, they're not. They want peace, but they've seen what works and what doesn't. Sitting down on the same table with your enemy and rewarding their terroristic behavior doesn't get peace. Destroying them gets you peace.
I agree. I mean, you cannot negotiate with terrorists, and you certainly can't negotiate with Islamic terrorists, and that's a fact. We all know it.
Yeah, I mean, we always been told that. So how come people don't understand this now? Like throughout all the time we were told we don't negotiate with terrorists. And now Israel is saying like, oh, we don't negotiate with terrorists. Like, oh my God, you don't want peace. You should negotiate with them if you want peace. Like, what happened to that principle of we don't negotiate with terrorists? It seemed like it's such an obvious thing. Dan, we got 3 super chats. Thank you, guys. Dan is saying pre-Islamic Zoroastrian Persians were the great friends of Jewish people. Sassanid, Achaemenid both supported Jewish people a lot. Yes, actually, that's true. That's why these are the 2 empires, the Achaemenid Empire and the Sassanid Empire are the 2 empires that the Jews were very fond of, unlike the Romans and the Ottomans. And Jacob is saying, thank you, Jacob, saying Abdullah Azam, Palestinian co-founded Al-Qaeda. Yep. There's many. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Jacob.
Literally every terrorist group in the Middle East has like Palestinians involved somehow.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, many Islamic countries are backward one way or another, but it doesn't get as bad as Gaza. Like, I think Gaza is the worst when it comes to the level of radicalism. It just,
I mean, even the other Arab countries don't want them, right?
Oh my God, yes. They actually hate them more than some Israelis do. So yeah. David the Goliath is saying, I am of Indian Parsi origin living in Canada. Our ancestors left the motherland, Iran, after Arab Muslim conquest. Goldie, it is great to see you. Your Farvahar. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that one. Yes. We Parsis will always be connected with Iranians. Oh, okay, that's sweet. Thank you so much, David. Thank you for your support.
We love Parsis.
I mean, I try to make our connection based on values more than ethnicity, David. So I appreciate you because you're standing on the correct side of values and history. I appreciate that more in you than whatever ethnicity you are, right? So, for example, if you told me that you're Arab and you stand for classical liberal values and you're a Zionist, I will appreciate you just as much as and if you were ethnically Persian and if you were, I don't know, supporting the Islamic Republic, I will tell you to fuck off. But if you were like Arab or any other ethnicity and you had the right positions and the right values, I think you would be one of us, right? So I think that's what I like to focus on, right? I don't know. Does that make sense?
It does, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I have a lot of Arab Muslim friends who are Zionists and support Israel, right? And then there's a lot of like Iranian lefties that I cannot stand, and they're like the enemies of Iran. So 100%.
Yes, yeah, it's values based. Okay, let's go to the next video.
Dual citizenship. They have passports to the United States of America and Israel. Why can these people be in the Pentagon and make war plans when they have a passport to Israel?
How can they be in the House? How can they be in the Senate? How can they be in the cabinet? How can you be
loyal to two nations.
Treasury Department. Do you understand what you're saying? They're dual citizens and they have high-profile positions in our government.
Yes.
What? That just sounds crazy to me. And a lot of people don't understand that this is finally starting to come out into the public, and people are starting to really see how involved a foreign country is involved in our politics.
How can you be on the Intelligence Committee and also have a passport to a foreign country?
Where's your allegiance to?
Dual.
Okay, Goldie.
That's insane. So, I mean, I was born in Iran, so, you know, I'm an Iranian citizen, whether I want to be or not, because I was born in Iran. I'm also a Canadian citizen, and I was a politician for 7 years. And I made it very clear before I even went into office. I was like, you know, yeah, I guess I'm a dual citizen, right? Like I was born in Iran, so I'm you know, naturally or like I'm, you know, Iranian by birth, but I became a Canadian citizen when I was 4 years old. Am I compromised? No. Like it's the most ridiculous thing. It's just that's why I'm laughing. It's like they're making it sound like it's like some huge thing. Like I don't know, spoiler alert, in a country that is built off of immigrants and immigration, many people are going to have a dual citizenship. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that the founding fathers of the United States were also dual citizens because they came from somewhere else. Like it's just ridiculous logic here.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, why are they even like they think that they have discovered something so profound? Like, oh my God, mind blown! These people have a citizenship of another country. Oh, what the fuck? I mean, Goldie, have you been? I think we can't trust you either because you've been a Canadian politician and you were a citizen of Iran. I don't know how you even got that position. What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I passed all the security clearances, right? There you go. Like I passed all the security clearances, but it's just such a stupid thing. But the way they say it, right? It's like so dramatic. And again, like they are clearly catering to a low IQ audience, right? They're catering to the most, you know, basic common denominator, right? Like their audience is basically Islamists and communists and, you know, anyone who wants to jump on the anti-Semitic bandwagon, right? And that's what they do. Like it's just so overly dramatic. That's why I couldn't stop laughing. It's wild.
Why don't they say that about dual citizens of other countries though? Why is it Israel? Because we have a dual citizen politicians of other countries. Like they make it seem like it's just Israel.
What about Ilhan Omar? Like, why aren't they concerned about Ilhan Omar? You know, like the crazy woman from Somalia who like married her brother or whatever. And then she's literally been caught speaking in Somalian at a Somali event in Somalia as an elected official while she was like a politician for America. And she was like, Somalia first. And then I think a recent video came out of her where she basically said the Somalian president is her president. I would be more concerned about that. Why is no one speaking about the fact that Ilhan Omar is putting Somalia first as an elected official? Why are these people more worried about like Israel when Israeli politicians have not done anything or said anything? I mean, I don't even know who they're speaking about. Like this is just rage baiting to me, but they're ignoring Ilhan Omar. They're ignoring Rashida Tlaib or whatever her garbage name is. And, you know, like, what about these people? To me, those are bigger threats than anyone connected with Israel.
I mean, you're right. But even if, let's say, assuming that those, like these other politicians, they had no problem, right? But they were just dual citizens of other country. The fact that they're zooming in on dual citizens who with citizenship of Israel, to me suggests that this is it's because they're Jews, right? They're not going like, oh my God, why are these Italian Americans? Why is this Italian American in the American politics? It's Israeli. It's interesting because they're choosing the country that is the most aligned with the United States. Like it has, and throughout history, Jews and Israelis have been one of the best people to have as citizens in your country because they contribute the most compared to other people. Like a lot of America's science comes from people that came from it, Jews that came from around the world. A lot of their technology, a lot of their academia, a lot of their so many things. So any country that basically took advantage of having more people from the Jewish community as citizens in their country, they benefited from that. So you should actually be, you should be honored to have them. You should actually be having policies that includes more of them rather than fighting it. So I don't know. Like, I mean, even if that wasn't the case, given that among all countries, this is the problem that you have. To me, it shows that this is just because they're anti-Jewish haters. But 100%. Then,
and I mean, what also happened to like all these leftists and people when they import like terrorists and jihadis into the country, they always say, "Oh, diversity is our strength." Well, apparently, diversity is their strength, except when it comes to Israel.
Well, these people are actually like right woke. These people are not left woke. These people are on the other side.
Even worse.
Yeah, these are
even worse.
Yeah. No. So the people that you see today, a lot of them are right-leaning anti-Semites. They're not left-leaning anti-Semites. We get both of them, right? Hold on. Let me see. Actually, we got a super chat. Cars in Depth is saying no Jewish members of Congress are dual citizens. Is that true? I'm pretty sure dual citizens are part of America's politics. I don't know if they are members
not elected officials. They could be like part of the administration or something, but they might not be actual politicians, right?
Right. Yeah.
And if that's the case, and then this guy is rage baiting even more, because then that means if the super chat is true, then that means that there are no elected officials with Israeli citizenship, but we know of at least, several elected officials with citizenship for sketchy countries, including Ilhan Omar, and how she's pushing her like jihadi propaganda, and how she said that like the president of Somalia is like her president. How come they're not speaking about that? How come it's only the focus on Jewish people, and they're not even elected? Like there's no Israeli like people with an Israeli passport or citizens elected in the United States. Raises a lot of questions.
I check which. So politician doesn't need to be necessarily congressperson, but if there was a congressperson that was a dual citizen, there shouldn't be any problem with that. I don't think that.
No, I don't think
should be allowed.
There should be. I mean, again, like these countries, Canada, United States, they're built on immigration. And so I don't think it should inherently be a problem unless that person has actively acted in a way that is, not in the best interests of the platform or the country they're serving.
Yeah.
Right?
By the way, you have so many people watching you on your channels right now.
Do I?
Yeah, on YouTube, there are 800 people watching.
Oh, wow.
On Twitter, yeah. Can I actually drop a link to, because we're going live on Goldie's channel and on Atheist Republic. Is it okay if I drop a link to...
Drop a link to your channel so that everyone who's following me, guys, if you're watching this live stream from my YouTube channel, make sure that you also follow Armin and his YouTube channel, because he does great lives, and usually like I'll go daily from 12 Eastern to 2, and then he starts at 2. So that we can sort of get like the back to back there. But definitely follow Armin.
Yeah. Well, it seems like I can't drop a link into your channel, so I'll just put the name. My channel's name is Atheist Republic. Okay, Atheist Republic. Just search for that. Anyways, I took advantage of your high views, so let's go to the next. Thank you for that. Let's go to the next video.
I'll go into my chat, and then I'll drop a link to your account there as well.
Oh, sweet. Thank you. Okay, let me know when you're ready for the next video.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I've talked to this Kim lady before. Hold on.
Anna Kasparian's right in her video. The left and the right loathe Israel.
For any Israelis watching this right now, I want you to be clear. I want you to understand this, okay? The whole international community loathes you.
There was a poll that came out recently in America finding that just 14% of Americans under 30, so young people in America, say their sympathies lie with Israel and with the Israeli people. That is a very small percentage. You are losing young people across the political spectrum in America and across the world.
Young American citizens in this country, both left and right, loathe you.
Not only do we loathe them, for committing a genocide, which we should be against genocides, but we load them for using our money, for infiltrating our political system, for buying off all of our politicians, blackmail campaigns that involve children, blowing up our Navy boats, having foreknowledge of 9/11 and not protecting us, not stopping the massacre of a bunch of Americans. You know, all of the things they've done to us. How is it not treason that many of our politicians have sided with Israel, are doing the bidding for Israel, when Israel's actually killed Americans with the USS Liberty, when Israel has bought off many of our politicians, but worse yet, blackmailed many others? That is treason. Anarchist.
Okay, so they just believe in every conspiracy theory. Apparently, the Jews did 9/11. USS Liberty was a mistake that was investigated by Americans. They apologized for it. They came and tried to help the American soldiers when that happened. Guys, if you want to blame Israel for USS Liberty, then do you know American soldiers killed so many Americans in Vietnam? It's called friendly fire. It happens all the time. So many Americans died in war by the hands of Americans themselves during war. This shit happens. This is not a conspiracy. They didn't do it on purpose. What would have been the motivation? Like, what would Israel get out of bombing a U.S. ship at that time? Like you have to be retarded to think that. Like, even if Israel is evil, what would be the benefit for Israel? Like, what would I don't understand how retarded these people are. Goldie, help me out here. Like, what?
Let me put it this way. Anna Kasparian is an Armenian who literally goes on a show called The Young Turks, and is basically the bitch of Sank Uyghur or whatever, right? I mean, how much of a pathetic person do you have to be, like, to actually go on a show called The Young Turks and work for someone who named his show after the people that genocided you 100 years ago? So I don't really pay attention to Anna Kasparian. I think she's a hypocrite. I think she is just basically a grifter. She's latched on to this, Palestine jihadi cause, probably because it gives her money. And I think, from what I've heard from my friends in the Armenian community, she's an embarrassment to Armenians because she does not represent the Armenian view. I mean, no self-respecting Armenian would go and work for a show called The Young Turks. And in fact, Armenians are very, closely allied with Iranians, because during the Armenian genocide, Armenians actually escaped to Iran and found refuge in Iran while they were being murdered and genocided by the Turks at the time.
Right. And I think maybe she was too dumb to even know what the Young Turks did. Like, as an Armenian, it's embarrassing that you didn't know that. Like, I don't know which one is worse. You're an Armenian and you don't know the history of the Young Turks, or you did know and you still went and worked for a show that called Young Turks. Like, I don't know which one is worse.
So, I mean, that to me just shows her level of competency. And so again, she's just another grifter who has gotten famous off of bashing Israel, right? And that's the common thread between all of these so-called influencers or pundits or whatever. There is a base for this. There is an interest for this. And so they're playing into the grift, and they speak to the lowest common denominator, and they speak with no proofs, no fact, nothing to back up their claims. They just go out and they make these insane statements for the soundbite because they know the soundbite is going to go viral, and that's how they make their money.
Yeah. It would be as if a Jew goes and becomes a host at the show called The Nazis. That's basically...
That's the equivalent. That's exactly it, right? Like, imagine like a Jewish person going to work for someone at a show called The Nazis. 100%. That's exactly what it is. That's what she's doing.
Right. Yeah. And also the point that they make at the beginning, that so many young Americans are becoming anti-Israeli. I mean, they're right about that. And that actually makes our point, because that's why you need Zionism. This is the experience. This is why Jews should never rely on world powers. I mean, I think some young Jews were starting to forget how common and prevalent and deep-rooted Jew hatred is in the world. a lot of younger Jews in Western countries didn't know how deep this goes before October 7th. And October 7th woke them up. And this is what Jews need to know about their history, that things get turned like that. As much as you think that this, I mean, guys, Germany was one of the best places for Jews to live in before Hitler came into power. Jews in Germany felt very safe compared to other places. And it turned on them like this. And one of the greatest crimes against Jews happened in history. So this is why Zionism makes sense. You look at America as your ally, you look at other countries as your ally, and you think that this is good, we are safe. Zionism was something that we needed before when the world was anti-Jewish, but it's not needed anymore. When you see things turning against Jews like this so fast, this is a reminder for you that you can never, throughout your history, Jews' survival was dependent on the kindness of world powers, of different empires. Zionism came to change all that. Zionism came to give the Jews the right to their own self-determination, and for them to be reliant on themselves and not have to wait and see which ruler and which king and which emperor is going to be kind to them so that they don't get, killed, okay, by other people who want to constantly use them as scapegoat for whatever bad was happening at that time. Now you have Israel. Now you have your own government. Now you have your own army. You cannot rely on America's support to become always there, Germany's support to be always there. You need Zionism. And when you see opinions in the United States turning against you, this is another reminder for why Zionism makes sense. This is a confirmation of the Zionist project being something that needed to happen and needs to continue to be defended.
Listen, I agree 100% with everything you said. And I think part of the reason why you're seeing all this anger from these Jew haters is because they know that Israelis and Jewish people do have a safe place that they can go to if, God forbid, something was going to happen, and they don't need to rely on other people to defend them. They can now defend themselves, and this has really upset the Islamic Caliphate because their plans to destroy Israel and take back the land or whatever is gone. It's down the drain, right? Like the Islamic Caliphate does not like the fact that Israel was able to liberate itself from Arab Muslim rule. They've never gone over it. It's the same reason why the jihadis have never gotten over the fact that the Spaniards reclaimed Spain from them, right? Like when the Arab Muslims went in and conquered Spain and they changed it to Al-Andalus for a very long time, even to this day, some of the more extreme jihadis still talk about how they need to reclaim Al-Andalus, right? Because it's something they're never going to forget. And so I think that's why they have this big beef with Israel, because Israel was able to reclaim the land that's rightfully theirs, land that has belonged to the Israelites and the Jewish people, for thousands of years before Islam was even invented. And they don't like the facts. They don't like to hear that. They don't like to know that.
There's a butthurt person in the chat saying, "Shame on you supporting genocide. You are not Iranian." Every time something like this happens, I like to because whenever I'm supporting Israel, there's always somebody in the chat saying that you're not Iranian. And what I like to do is tell them, "مادر قهوه کسک شهروزی بیشرف. اگه من ایرانی نیستم چجوری اینجوری دارم بهت فوش میدم ریدم تو دهنت." All right, there we go.
Sorry. آرمین، من مادرم اینا رو نگاه میکنه ها، بعد میاد این پادکست رو نگاه میکنه میگه وای، میگه خوش سرم گل چیکار کردی. It's okay. I forgive you.
Okay. I've got a super chat. Yusuf saying it's also, I have to prove that I'm Iranian somehow. Yusuf saying it's also Yusuf saying it's also like a Uyghur working for a CCP show. Yep, that's another example. Oh, and we also got another super chat. By the way, guys, when Goldie's channel gets monetized soon, hopefully, go support her channel with the thanks option and super chats as well. Okay, Goldie's channel just yeah. So as soon as it gets monetized, let me know so we could tell people to go there and become members as well.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Spooky Shauna is saying, actually, even the moderates in Islam more often than not refuse to call Spain a Christian or Catholic country. Really? Okay.
Because they don't like the fact that the Spaniards took it back from them, right? They don't like the fact that they lost. So
yeah, I mean, in Iran, a lot of the religious people use that as an example of things of what happens when you don't follow Islam, because they say like, oh, the reason why we lost Andalusia or Spain is because people there were not following Islamic rules, and we were punished by God in losing that land. So make sure you follow Islamic laws and bullshit like that. Anyways, let's go to the next video.
The moment Mamdani, in my opinion, won was when on the debate stage, they asked them, what is the first place you would visit? And they all got out their virtue signaling and self-importance and said, well, I'd go to Israel.
First visit, I would visit the Holy Land.
I would go to Israel.
Yeah, I'd make my 4th trip to Israel. My first trip to Israel.
Dude, make sure the trash is picked up. And he said, and this was the moment for him. He said,
Mr. Mamdani,
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
I'm about improving the city. When you're the governor of South Dakota, do you really need
to go to Israel?
You're here to run the city and make sure we have good schools, that people are safe. And he ran right through that. That was brilliant on his part. And it also, more than
that's why I think he's going to do a good job here.
The moment.
Yeah, he's going to do a good job by bringing communism to the most capitalist city on earth. Sure. But what do you think, Goldie?
I think he promised free bus fare. You know who else promised free bus fare?
Oh my God, yes. Khomeini,
the Islamic jihadi terrorist, right? Like the Islamist communist playbook is all the same. Like we've seen this every single time. So for him to claim, oh, free bus fare, right? Like I knew you'd catch on to that, but I mean, the guy's a jihadi. He's flat out jihadi. Didn't he like come under fire a few days ago because he took photos with like this one guy who's like in like this guy from Africa who's like involved with like Islamic terrorism or something? Or like
no, she took a picture with this Ugandan because she was somebody who introduced laws against LGBT, like basically really heavy prison sentences.
There was her.
Being gay.
So yeah, there was that Ugandan woman. Yeah, so he met with her, and she's totally like anti-LGBTQ. But he also met with this other like black guy, like clearly a Muslim. Like he's dressed like in like Islamic clothes with like the hat or in the hat and the dress and whatever. And then that guy, apparently his family is linked to Islamic terrorism. I can't remember who, but like, so he's met with like all these jihadis, right? And here's the thing, like you can put a jihadi in a suit, but he's still a jihadi. And what's really insane is that this guy immigrated to the United States. He got his citizenship in 2018. And by 2020, he was already calling for the destruction of like American historical statues or whatever. How come no one is talking about that? How come everyone focuses on Israel, but no one focuses on these jihadi invaders who come to America, and as soon as they gain citizenship, they start attacking the very foundation of American democracy and the pillars of American history? And now this person who hasn't even been an American citizen for 10 years is running for mayor. If that's not like an Islamist invasion project, I don't know what is.
And I think he's more of a communist than a jihadi, which is worse in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think
communists enable the jihadis because they both have that anti-imperialist narrative. Like they both have that anti-imperialism goal.
Right. Yeah. But so to me, like the communists and the woke are basically the enemies from within the more modern Western countries who are opening the gates of the city to the barbarians. So the Islamic people, they're the barbarians at the gate. But the reason why I think the communists and the leftists are more dangerous is because they're the enemy from inside the house. And the barbarians wouldn't even be able to make it in unless they were there weakening the city and opening the gates for any of this to happen. And also they think like, oh, I think he's going to do a good job. He's going to use the same command economic principles that has been proven beyond reasonable doubt that fucks up a society much more efficiently than even Islam. If it's one thing that fucks up a society more efficiently than Islam, it's any form of command economy, which these communists believe in. Rent freezes, making shit free. I mean, every single study and every single experience shows that this shit doesn't work. And they're still trying it just because it sells. It sells in elections and it doesn't work. So, and why do they think he's going to do a good job? Because they ask you, where would you travel to if you had the chance? And he said, I will stay in New York. Like, how is that? Like, wait, so like, oh, that's such a good answer. Wait, so does that mean that as a politician, I should never travel? And that was not even answering the question. If you were going to travel, where would you go to? He just used that opportunity to virtue signal. And also, Israel is such a great place. I've been to Israel. Goldie, have you been to Israel?
I was there last year. I was there for 2 weeks.
Oh my God. Nice. It's such a good place to visit.
I love it.
There are only 3 places in the world that I will go back to among all the countries I've been to. And I've been to so many places. I've been to at least 30 countries. But Rome, Jerusalem, and Tokyo are the only 3 places that I think are worth going back to. It's such a fun place to go. So yeah, I think your answer being that if I get to travel, I would go to Israel is a perfectly good response. It makes
100%. I mean, why would you not want to go to the only democracy in the Middle East to learn and understand about the challenges that they face dealing with Islamic terrorism? Plus, it's a fantastic country. Yeah. It's so much fun. Like, I loved going to Israel. I actually felt safer when I was in Israel. Like, as an Iranian, I felt safer in Israel. Even with the threat of like Hezbollah and the Islamic Republic, I felt safer in Israel than I do in Canada.
Yes. I mean, also the 3 pillars of Western societies are in 3 cities: Athens, Florence, and Jerusalem. So as a Westerner, why wouldn't you want to go visit one of those 3 cities?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to the next video. Oh, wait, we got some super chats, so we need to respond. Oh, somebody was saying translation. The translation to my swear words. You don't want. I don't want to hear this. Okay, so I don't think this Iranian swear words translate well into English, anyways. How do you translate modern? I don't know. Okay, let's see. Mike gave us a super chat. Mike said, "I recently discovered Goldie through the what is this?
Pro tip from Iran."
Yes, those are great series. Yes.
Hello.
Pro tip from an Iranian series. Yes, those are genius, by the way. Those are so good. Great to see you together. Yeah. I hope to see you.
Thank you for the support. I love that. Yeah. Thank you for the support.
Can you explain to people what those series are?
Oh my gosh. So honestly, Armin, it's like I'll make some random videos sometimes, and then the stupidest things go viral. I mean, I shouldn't say stupid, but it's like, it's just the most,
they're great.
The things that I don't expect, right? So I basically I made a video. So this was a few days after the Syrian terrorist I think it was in Manchester, murdered some Jewish people who were going to synagogue, right? And then the guy's name was Jihad. So, yes. Right? Like, how stupid is that? So I was basically just sitting there and I'm like, how stupid are people? Like, it's suicidal empathy, right? So I made a video and I was like, Iranian here with a pro tip. If you're going to let people named Jihad into your countries, you're probably going to have a bad time. And then that just blew up. It blew up, no pun intended. Blew up. blew up on like TikTok and Instagram. So then I made a second one a few days later, and the second one was about how like no one in the Middle East blocks intersections to pray and yell Allahu Akbar. Like literally no one does it. It's banned. It's illegal. People go and do it in their mosques. The only reason the jihadis block intersections to pray in the streets and yell Allahu Akbar is it's basically jihad. It's a sign of political dominance, and they're basically trolling Westerners, and they're basically telling you that we can come to your lands and do whatever we want to do and you can't stop us. That video went viral again on Instagram and TikTok. I think it's almost like 4 million views in total. And then, plus a lot of people downloaded it and then they reshared it on like their platforms. So and then I realized there's like an interest for people who are not from the Middle East to learn, tips about the Middle East. And so I just kind of continued the series. And so, usually every day or every other day, I'll post a pro tip, less than 60 seconds, very, very brief. And it just, gives a little bit of input and insight, right? Like yesterday, I spoke about how Iran is not the Islamic Republic. It's, two different things. Today, I spoke about how Al Jazeera is like a propaganda propaganda mouthpiece for Qatar, and Al Jazeera is actually banned in Saudi Arabia, Egypt, the UAE, Bahrain, and Jordan. So, things like that.
That's good. That's so genius. I love them. I get it. Are you getting this as well? I get a sense that we Iranians, on average, are getting famous for our anti-jihadi and pro-Israeli takes. Like we're making it like we're getting known globally for wow, these people from these Iranians are so anti-jihadi and also pro-Israeli. Like, do you get the sense that more and more people are realizing that?
I definitely get the sense, and I think more people are waking up, and that's actually really good for us, because one of the ways that the Islamic Republic has remained in power, the Islamic Republic occupying Iran, is by fooling the world into thinking that we Iranians are jihadi and we hate America and we hate Israel, blah, 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 right? But the fact that we are now using social media to counter that narrative, it's waking the world up, and it's the worst nightmare for the Islamic Republic, because now people are looking at Iran and they're like, okay, like Iranians are not their government. Iranians want to be free. And we are definitely like anti-jihad and pro-Israel, because like we're not part of the Arab Ummah Caliphate or whatever. Like we're Iranian. We're indigenous to the land of Iran. Like our guys, like our foods, like our recipe for korma sabzi is like 5,000 years older than when like Islam was invented, right? Like we literally eat food that is thousands of years older than Islam. So again, like we have a very I mean, it's true though. I mean, you laugh, but it's true. Look it up. Korma sabzi is like 5,000 years
our food is older than your entire religion.
It's true. It's true. So, right. They've never been able to like Arabize us, even though like our country was, colonized by Islam. They were never able to Arabize us. We were able to maintain our distinct indigenous identity as Iranians, and that's why we're speaking out, because we're done with Islamic colonization. And what's happening in Iran right now is I think Iran's going to be like Spain very soon. We're going to decolonize from Islam, and we're never going to go back.
Yeah, and we're going to liberate the rest of the Islamic countries as well. By the way, no offense, Goldie, I have to protect my admins here because you were saying Arabize. No offense to my anti-jihadi Arab admins here, like Muhammad, for example. I mean, I don't know, Muhammad, where are you from?
Yeah, no, I'm not referring to them whatsoever. No, I'm not referring to them whatsoever.
I know, I'm just kidding. Okay. But guys,
actually, you know what? I get a lot of comments from Arabs in the Middle East who appreciate what I'm doing, and then they're like, can you speak about Yemen? Can you speak about Iraq? Can you speak about Lebanon? Can you speak about like all these various countries, right? Because all of us have experienced that colonization at one point or another from the extremists, right? So just want to say
okay, Muhammad is Pakistani, so you could go ahead and say whatever you want then against the Arabs. I'm just kidding.
Terrible.
No, I'm just kidding. No, okay. So, yeah. So, by the way, when we say Arabized, okay, I mean this is not obviously anti-Arab because it would be unfair to any group of people for their culture to be dominated by another, right? And also, I think Arabs were Islamized as well. Like Arab culture was very beautiful before Islam. And
Yeah.
there's so much, there's even today, there's so many things like the non-Islamic part of Arab culture. There's a lot to celebrate there, the non-Islamic parts, right? So I think the way I look at it is that the first victims of Islam were Arabs, and Arabs had so many things going for them, and they had a beautiful culture before Islam came and ruined it, right? That's the way I look at it. And by the way, Muhammad, I'm sorry for getting that wrong. I should know better. I should know that better. Anyways, let's go to the. Oh, hold on. We have a super chat. Spooky saying, "How can the average American assert their authority and secular tradition to make Islamists more uncomfortable? Politely fight Taghiya?" Wait, I don't understand the question. How can the average American assert their authority and secular tradition to make Islamists more uncomfortable? I mean, I don't think you should make them. I think the goal should be to show how these ways are superior. I mean, you should demonstrate. You should be proud of it. You should not hold back. You should just be confident, and you should demonstrate how it makes everyone's lives better, including the people who we call Islamists, who the more that they leave their Islamic ways and give in to this, Western secular values, the better their lives are. I mean, just look, why are people leaving Islamic countries and going to Western secular countries? Because those methods just work and makes people's lives better. You could, as long as you're assertive, as long as you're confident, as long as you're proud of your culture, as long as you're proud of your history, as long as you stand for it, I think that works sometimes even stronger than any logical argument. Not holding back, standing tall, standing for your country, and not trying to apologize for anything that you have done in your history, not trying to look weak, because these people, here's the thing, more than logic, these people understand the language of strength. So if you speak from a position of strength and confidence, the more they will be affected by it. I don't know, what do you think?
I mean, if you try to negotiate, so I'm speaking directly about Islamists, right? Like not like regular normal people from the Middle East. So with Islamists, because of their like jihadi mentality, they only understand strength. So if you try to negotiate with them or appease them, they will see that as weakness, and then they'll just use that to like push, and become even more prominent. So you have to be very strong and firm. But again, they use the ignorance of Western people against you, right? Like, so for example, the whole like blocking intersections to pray in the middle of the street, that doesn't happen in Muslim countries. That doesn't happen in Saudi Arabia. That doesn't happen in the UAE or anywhere else, because people go into mosques to pray, and in fact, it is seen as a sign of radicalism. But in the Middle East, we're better able to we know what radicalism looks like, and so we call it out. But in like Western countries where people don't know, all of a sudden you have the radicals taking advantage of people's ignorance to behave in promote their jihadi behavior. And then if you try to call it out, they're like, oh, it's Islamophobia or whatever nonsense, right? Meanwhile, the rest of us are looking at them like, you would not dare to act this way if you were in, I don't know, Saudi Arabia or Morocco or somewhere.
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at it, what Western countries did with these Islamic communities and societies is that let's just be tolerant. If we interact with them and if we tolerate them, they will just see our better ways, and maybe they will become, this exchange with them will make them better. But what you see is that they saw that as a sign of weakness, and they came to your land, and they instead of assimilating, they're trying to do reverse assimilation, and we're like, okay, thank you for welcoming us. Now we're going to dominate this area. But if you look at Israel is from that land, so they understand their language. Israel was like, I just go boom, 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 and these look at Saudi Arabia, look at Egypt, look at Jordan. They they used to be more jihadi, like Saudi Arabia used to be a lot more jihadi. But once Israel wasn't like, oh, let's actually show tolerance and go interact with them, and maybe they will see the right way. Israel was like, look at what I could do. Okay, just look at what I could do, and they just bend the knee. Okay, and they realize that Israel is the king of that area, owns the whole place. So they change their ways, and they also understand the language of money. They understand the language of trade, and they also understand the language of military power. So Saudi Arabia is bending the knee, UAE is bending the knee, Qatar is bending the knee. All of these countries. So in the Middle East, because Israel is there, and also because trade is important and investment is important, they're becoming less jihadi. But in Europe and North America, because you're being tolerant and you're showing weakness instead of strength, and you think like just logic and arguments will work, they're seeing that as a sign of weakness. And this is why Europe and North America is becoming more jihadi, while the Middle East is becoming less jihadi. I mean, maybe, I don't know, Goldie, maybe at some point in the future, maybe 50 years from now, Europeans will be filing for asylum in Iran because their countries are now Islamic, and they're going to have to come to Iran because Iran is now a secular democratic country and their countries are fully Islamic. I don't know. What do you think? You guys
100%.
should be. Oh, really?
Well, I mean, you laugh, but did you see that video from the foreign affairs minister of the UAE with the warning he had for Europeans? He put out a warning about 10 years ago where he's basically warning European countries. He's like, there's going to come a time when your countries are going to be the ones creating Islamic terrorists because you guys don't know the difference, and you're going to be too afraid to call it out because of political correctness or whatever the case might be. So like Arab Muslim politicians have been warning Western European politicians for at least a decade about this Islamist problem that's brewing in Europe. And you're right. I think at some point, I mean, especially when Iran is free, like we're probably going to have to escape and go back there to get away from all the jihadis in Canada and Europe.
Guys, Canadians, America is going to be fine for a while, but Western Europeans and Canadians, you better be friendly to me and Goldie, because we will be your connections in Iran. So if you need to file for asylum, we will basically, if you're close friends with us, we will actually let you in.
And what's really interesting as well, Armin, is that even though Iran is occupied by the Islamic Republic, the society itself is literally like not Islamic whatsoever, right? It's just everyone is so over it. It's just like we've always been a secular country, and the Islamic Republic has had to shut down 50,000 mosques, right? So Islamic Republic shut down 50,000 mosques because people aren't attending. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let me do 2 super chats and then we'll go to the next video. Spooky Shana is saying, so seduce them with the strength of the West is what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, just like the Berlin Wall, like no amount of articles and books and logical arguments was as powerful as when people on the east side of the Berlin Wall could see the lives of the people on the west side of the Berlin Wall, right? That's, when you see that basically demonstrates who's on the right side more than any form of arguments. Sean is saying there are serious, and also, like, for example, in Iran, the Islamic Republic has been doing 46 years of propaganda, but when your fridge is empty, no amount of propaganda could fill up your fridge. Like, you could tell people that everything is good. So what there was a saying in the Soviet Union is like the TV keeps on saying that everything was good, but the fridge said otherwise, right? Like, my TV is saying something, but my fridge was saying something else. Sean is saying there are serious protests in Iran now. Why? Oh, I haven't been following that. Ireland is very anti-Israeli, pro-Palestinian. Is that what's happening there? I don't know. I haven't looked it up.
Let me see.
Spooky Sean is saying America is going to be Islam's Vietnam. Wait, what?
I think she might have been referring to I think like maybe anti-immigration riots in Ireland. I don't know if that's what she was referring to.
Oh my God, that's rich. Imagine Ireland being so Palestinian, so pro-Palestinian, and when the same people want to come to Ireland, they're like, no, not here. Like, okay, sure. I mean, it's the same thing with Norway. Norway has been so pro-Palestinian, but they also haven't let any of them in, any of those kinds of people in. So I was like, okay. All right, thank you guys for the super chats. Let's go to the next video.
The biggest donor group that runs this administration is the Israeli lobby. It's not a secret. And Trump comes out and says Marian Adelson cares more about Israel than America. He said it all to the American people. He said it.
So I'm going to get her in trouble with this, but I actually asked her once. I said, so Miriam, I know you love Israel. What do you love more, the United States or Israel? She refused to answer. That might mean Israel, I must say.
He's not hiding it. He told you everything in his speech in Israel. He said it with a smile on his face. He told you the whole thing. He said the truth. I give him credit. He spoke the truth. He looked right at the American people with the Israeli flag behind him, and he said, there's all my big donors, and they care more about Israel than America. The biggest
Okay, how would you respond to that? Because
I mean, that's what lobbying is. Lobbying is lobbying for a particular cause to the government, and lobbyists do it all the time from various organizations. How come these people are not concerned about NIAC? How come no one ever speaks about the National Iranian American Council, which is the lobby group for the Islamic Republic? The Islamic Republic is the government that chants death to America. No one speaks about NIAC, but when it comes to Israel, which is literally the only ally, the biggest ally of the United States in the Middle East, people have a problem. It's very, very like suspicious.
I mean, every country has, almost most countries have lobbies in United States, okay? And Israel actually doesn't have a lobby group in United States. The only lobby group that people are referring to, like AIPAC, are American Jews. So unlike, for example, like China and Russia and, I don't know, Germany and other countries who have their own lobby groups which are directly tied to a government of another country, Israel doesn't actually have that. So Israel, these are just American Jews who are sympathetic with Israel, that want to lobby their government to support Israel more, which is completely in line with their freedom of speech and freedom to support whatever the politician that they want. Like, I don't know why would you be against that? Like, are you against Americans being able to support the politicians that are taking actions in line with the policies that they're interested in? Like, and if you're against lobbying, I mean, lobbying is basically in line with Americans' right to freedom of expression, because you get to support a politician if you want. If you're a foreign government, then you just need to announce that this is a foreign government, and that's about it. But Americans themselves have every right to support whatever politician they want with speech or their money. That is the right that every American has. So what the fuck is your problem? I don't understand. And also, I don't know, I don't know why Trump said that, because he said that as a way, like, guys, remember when we were covering Trump's speech, I knew that all of these anti-Israelis are going to have their time of their life with this. Right when Trump said that, I'm like, oh my God, what Trump said in the Knesset, because the accusation of dual loyalty is one thing that people use against Jews all around the world, even though other people have dual citizenship, and it's just the Jews apparently that are the problem with this. Because we don't say, like, Goldie, if you came, you're an Iranian Canadian, okay? If I said, do you love Iran more or Canada more, what would you say?
So, as a politician, it depends, right? Because it depends on the context, it depends on your audience, right? I mean, as an elected, so when I was an elected official in Canada, my loyalty was always to Canada first. And I always made it very clear, I'm Canada first because that is what I was elected to do. Canada is who I was elected to represent. However, even though I was a Canadian politician, I still spoke out on behalf of the Iranian people. I still raised awareness about what's happening in Iran, and I proudly held the Iranian flag in my hand. And in fact, I even wore like an Iran pin, right? Like I'm talking about the lion and sun flag, right? I even wore that pin in the Ontario legislature when I was speaking about the uprisings in Iran. But that's because the values coincided, right? So the values that I was raising awareness about in Iran coincided and supported Canadian values of freedom and democracy and all of that. So of course I would raise awareness, but as an elected official, I would never say Iran first, because that's not my role. But Trump never said Israel first. The person he's referring to is a lobbyist. And I, as an elected official, would meet with people from various countries who were advancing the interests of whatever country, because that's literally politics. International relations is a big part of that. And there are many Iranians who are loyal to Iran, not the Islamic Republic, but loyal to Iran, who are fighting to raise awareness about the Iranian people to overthrow the Islamic Republic. It's a normal thing to do. It's a natural thing to do. I think what Trump was doing, because, political speak and all that, what he was trying to do was basically give a compliment to Israel. He was basically saying, this is how much support Israel has in the United States. This is, the close connection between our two countries. And I'm very aware of the close connection. That's basically what he was saying. But you have these like crazy conspiracy theorists who will take that soundbite, take it out of context, and then turn it into this huge thing about how Israel controls the world, right? Like that's what these people do.
So basically, Mary Mendelsohn didn't even say which one she loves more, United States or Israel. She's a citizen of both. So I think the fact that she didn't answer is, to me, it seems like you're asking a mother which one of your two sons you love more, and she refuses to answer. That's the way that it sounds to me. Okay, but Trump said that given that she didn't answer, in his mind that means that she loves Israel more. Okay, but I don't see that conclusion. But let's say that's true. Okay, so you answered as a Canadian politician. But I'm not. I've never been a politician, right? So you're an Iranian Canadian. I'm an Iranian Canadian. As an Iranian Canadian, if you ask me, do you love Iran more or Canada more? Given that I'm not a politician, my answer would be I love Iran more. Do you think that's bad?
No, I think that's your right, because there's nothing wrong with that, and Iran is not an enemy of Canada, right? Like if you said you support or you love the Islamic Republic, I would have a problem with you. But just saying that you love Iran more, I don't think that's an issue whatsoever, because that doesn't mean you don't love Canada. And that's what people forget. Like they think it's this like black and white thing. No, it's like you can love more than one thing at the same time.
So if it's okay for me as an Iranian Canadian to say I love Iran more, I mean, guys, it's where I was born. It's where my childhood was. Like, it's I don't know if it's not wrong for an Iranian Canadian to say that. I mean, you have to. Why is it always wrong the other way? Like, if it's wrong to say, if an Israeli American says I love Israel more, and that's like, oh my God, then why is it if they say I love America more, then why shouldn't Israeli be like, oh my God, like why is it only bad when they love the other country more? Because if they like America more, shouldn't the Israelis then get offended? Like, I don't understand why are you competing? As long as shouldn't the only thing that matters is that they love that country and they are loyal to it and they're abiding by the principles and laws and the customs that they're supposed to. Why does this have to be a competition? And if it's okay for me, let me know in the chat. As an Iranian Canadian, if I say I love Iran more than Canada, do you guys think that's okay? Like, is that okay for me to say that? And if it's okay for me to say that, then why is it not okay for an American Israeli to say that they love Israel more? I mean, if an Italian American says, I love Italy more than America, I don't see these people getting butthurt over an Italian American saying, I love Italy more than America. They only get butthurt over Israelis saying, I love Israel more. And they don't even say that because they don't dare say that because you guys are going to go and condemn them for, I don't know, whatever, if they do. But why is it that you're only focusing on Israel? I mean, it must be because they're Jews, because this standard is not applied to anyone else. No one else gets condemned like this other than Israelis. Yes, people are saying perfectly okay.
Yeah. But again, it's that double standard that the anti-Semites are pushing where, anyone else it's okay. Yeah. But if it's Israel, it's a problem. I mean, where are all of these outrage videos about, again, I'll bring up Ilhan Omar, where she literally is an elected official. And as an elected official, she said she puts Somalia first. That to me is way more problematic.
Yeah, I mean, even if I love Iran more, if I become a politician, then as a politician in the country, I should be doing my job and I should be putting Canada first. If I'm an Iranian Canadian politician and I'm a politician in Canada, then as my job, I'm a politician in Canada. So Canada should be first because that's the job I'm hired to do. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Spooky is saying it's jealousy because most white Americans are too blended to get citizenship in other nations. Automatic. It's mostly anger at not having a privilege. I think it's just Jew hatred. I think it's maybe you're right, but I think that the answer is usually Jew hatred. By the way, Goldie, how much more time you have? Because I know you're sick and you need to rest so that you could recover. I think when we get sick, the best thing to do to recover faster is to rest more. And you already did a stream on your channel, and now you were kind enough to do a stream with me on my channel.
I'm having fun, so I'm good for a little bit longer. But
okay, let's do a couple more then. Let's do a couple more. Let's go to the next video.
You know what? This is actually kind of fun because we're trash talking all the jihadis and all the anti-Semites. Right?
Yeah.
Easy to do.
Yeah. Okay. Okay,
I'm just gonna drink my cranberry juice here. I need to refill on the cranberry juice. That's what I do when I'm sick. I just literally, and you know what? This is actually it's from Azerbaijan, believe it or not. So
no way.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Azerbaijan is another country that people would be surprised that is pro-Israel, because Azerbaijan is a Shia country. Okay, and they are very pro-Israel, openly pro-Israeli, and people wave the flag of Israel in Azerbaijan. Guys, did you know that Azerbaijan is a majority Muslim Shia country, and both their people and the government is pro-Israeli. It's not just the people; it's also the government. So that's another thing you need to look into, because that's interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, it's because Israel sells.
Well, they also resisted the jihadi Islamist narrative, right?
Yes.
People in Azerbaijan, because Azerbaijan is also very, they used to be part of the Persian Empire, so they've also maintained their distinct identity as Azerbaijani people too. So yeah,
and it's also because they get so many good weapons from Israel, and Israel gets a lot of gas from Azerbaijan. So that's also trade, guys. When goods cross borders, bullets and soldiers don't. Okay, the best path to peace is capitalism.
It's true.
Right, so let's go. Yeah. Let's go to the next video.
We're not going to vote for anybody who takes AIPAC money.
I will not vote for a candidate that takes $1 from AIPAC.
I will not vote for any politician that takes any money from the Israel lobby.
You take AIPAC money, don't you?
Never taken money from the Israel lobby, have you?
Taken money from the Israel.
From AIPAC.
Do you think AIPAC should register as a foreign lobby?
I've never understood why AIPAC doesn't have to register as a foreign agent.
I saw the way the AIPAC worked, and that was weird.
AIPAC babysitter.
I'm America first. AIPAC is Israel first.
Thank you, AIPAC. Thank you, AIPAC.
AIPAC, I'm coming to tear your kingdom down.
Yesterday, Democratic Representative Seth Moulton announced that,
quote, I am returning AIPAC donations and I'm refusing to accept any donations or support from them.
Saying not only am I not going to take AIPAC money anymore, I'm returning their money. Their money is toxic. I don't want it. Here, take it back. Wow, that's a sea change in American politics.
We're not going to vote.
Okay. You're making such a big deal out of so very little money. AIPAC, first of all, the reason why AIPAC doesn't register as a foreign lobbying group is because they are 100% American. These are American Jews. These are Americans. What? They don't get to lobby just because they're Jews, they're foreign? Are you suggesting your Jewish citizens are foreign? They are 100. Why would Americans have to register as foreigners when they're American? I don't understand this bullshit. And also, AIPAC's donations to politicians and all the other pro-Israeli, fundraising and lobbying groups combined has been less than the entire money that dentists have been lobbying the government. Did you know that American dentists has lobbied the government more than AIPAC? Like it's not that much money. You guys don't understand. Do these Americans not understand how many trillions of dollars Israel has saved America and how very little AIPAC money is? I don't understand. What would you say to this?
I mean, again, like this is just low IQ propaganda sound bites, right? Like they make AIPAC seem like this evil entity. No one explains, right? No one in these videos explains what it is or goes look at it, right? Just AIPAC, right? But I mean, it literally it starts with the word American, right? American, whatever. So I don't know the full word for it, but lobbying is a very natural and normal part of politics. It happens all the time, and the fact that they can't find anything wrong with this, right? Because AIPAC is registered, all of their funding is there, so full transparency, right? Full transparency, and yet somehow they're making a big deal out of this, right? I mean, I just searched on Google and I was like, which American lobbies spend more to lobby than AIPAC, right? Like the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the National Association of Realtors spends significantly more than AIPAC with over 963 million. So like the realtors spend like $1 billion on lobbying. The American Hospital Association spends more than AIPAC. The Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America spend more on AIPAC. No one's screaming about them. No one's crying about them. But all of a sudden, AIPAC is this big deal. And this is it's anti-Semitism, right? Like, just like you said, they are trying to create this false distinction between AIPAC and other lobby groups because they are trying to literally alienate American citizens just because they are Jewish. I think that is horrible. I think it is disgusting. And, this website, again, this video attracts low IQ people, right? So very, very low IQ because there's really no substance to what they're saying. It's just the same sound bites over and over and over again with no context whatsoever. And you see like some of the worst anti-Semites in this clip.
Yeah, and I'm also I checked something as well. And China spends more money lobbying the United States than AIPAC.
Oh, wow.
4 times more. Yeah. And it's interesting because that's actually a foreign government and AIPAC is American. AIPAC is American and China. Why aren't these people like going around and, pulling their hair out over like, why is China lobbying our politicians? Even though it's so much more than AIPAC. Like, why are these people not upset over that? I don't know. Apparently, Americans deciding to financially support the politicians that are supporting the things that is in line with what they want pisses these people off more than the communist CCP coming out and lobbying and American politicians. I mean, you can see the selective outrage. Is America. I don't know. And also it shows that they see the American Jews as foreign. If you're saying American Jews just because they're Jews and just because they want to support Israel, when they want to, as Americans, when they want to financially support the politicians that they like, if they should register as a foreign agent, then you are saying these are not full Americans. You're saying that these citizens of America, for the fact that they're Jews, for the fact that they are supporting Israel, you don't see them as fully American. You see them as foreigners, which shows your anti-Semitism, in my opinion.
I agree.
We got 2 super chats. Mo the Goat is saying every Chinese in government is a lobbyist for China. Every Muslim is one for Islam only. Talib is Palestinian Islam first, and not just first and only. Every Mexican is as well. And unlike Talib, Chinese or Korean in government, Israel never was an enemy of US. So I don't know if I would say that about every Mexican, or we have to look at one individual at the time to judge. But I do agree with the fact that there is a double standard here, and we're talking about countries, at least with the China one. These are countries that are not as friendly to the United States as Israel is. So, if anything, every American should be supporting politicians that are supporting Israel, because it's a country that is more aligned with U.S. interests than any other country in the Middle East. Sorry, guys, both me and Goldie are sick because
I would offer you some cranberry juice, but the technology hasn't gone to that point yet.
Yeah. Does cranberry juice help? I thought that was for something else.
Well, for me it helps, because it just kind of like flushes your body, right? So just like, I feel like it just, all the toxins come out of your body. So I just drink. Plus, I'm Iranian. Of course I'm gonna have cranberry juice over orange juice or something. It's the more Iranian thing to do. So
I think what helps the most, which I'm gonna do right after the next video, because I'm getting more coughs. I think it's warm water with honey and lemon.
Yep, and ginger. You have to add some ginger to that too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Ginger. That's what I do. Warm, I basically grate ginger with honey and lemon, and then hot water.
Okay, so let's do one super chat and one more video, and let's then go. Both of us need to go recover. Okay, Spooky Shana saying Fuentes called Jews a guest in America. There are groups trying to destroy our non-sectarian heritage and make America explicitly a Christian nation. Yep. I mean, this is Goldie. We need to, these are the actual far right. Okay, because for so long, these leftists were calling anybody that was patriotic, everybody that was anti this Islamic invasion, everybody that was for their defending their borders and against mass migration, they were calling it far right. And I was whenever I said in my channel, I said oh guys, we have to be worried about the far right. Some people in my channel thought I'm a leftist. I'm like, guys, no, the far right is a real thing. I'm not talking about the people that the left calls the far right. I'm not talking about their genuine concern for mass migration and the Islamic invasion. But when I say far right, I'm talking to the people who on the right, like Nick Fuentes, that are Jew haters, like the anti-Semites on their right, okay? Like the people, these types of people, right? So, and yeah, we need to actually take them seriously. It's not just the leftists. It's not just the green and red alliance. It's also the brown now. The brown is also a part of the problem that we need to pay attention to. Do you agree with that? That the right is also has the sickness of anti-Jew hatred?
100%. The far right has always had that element of anti-Semitism. I mean, it's the horseshoe theory in politics, right? Where it's the closer you get to the extremes, the closer the ideologies come together, right? So that's why you have the far left and the far right, who are united in their anti-Semitism and Jew hatred. It's just part of that ideology.
Yeah, the more crazy people get, the more alike they become, right? Okay, let's go one more video.
Love him or hate him, that's what he believes in. Period.
You have said that you would arrest Netanyahu if he came to the United States. You've been very outspoken in your criticism of him. Do you stand by that? You would arrest him if he came here, if you were mayor?
I can tell you that I'm going to exhaust every legal option in front of me.
I don't care what anybody says. I respect the hell out of him that he's going on Fox News, staying poised, giving his answers. Love him or hate him, that's what he believes in. Period. He's, by the way, are you sensing him breathe hard when he's giving his? You know why he's not breathing hard? Because that's exactly what he believes in.
Yeah, that's right.
So again, remember, you have to respect it.
I do.
He's and if New York City votes him in,
there are Pat.
Wait, why I have to respect him because he's saying what he really believes in? Based on that standard, Patrick, you need to respect Hitler. Would you respect Hitler? Like, oh, like, love him or hate him, he really is saying what he believes in. Look how confidently he's speaking. Do you notice him breathing heavily when he's talking? Look at his speeches. Really, even if you have to respect him. Like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck? What kind of standard is that? You could say the most bullshit, and as long as you really believe it, we have to respect you. No, fuck that. I don't respect it, people. In fact, I respect you less because you really believe in this bullshit. Like, what the fuck? I don't know, Goldie. What would you say to this?
I mean, I completely agree with you on that, but even more so, like, on what authority does Mamdani think he can arrest Netanyahu? Because America is not a party to the Rome Statute. So what the hell is he talking about? He's going to arrest Netanyahu based on what? Like, it's insane, right? So this just shows, again, Mamdani is an idiot. He's definitely like a jihadi Islamist. I still think that. And he's just showing how intellectually, what's the word I'm looking for? He's just showing how stupid he is, right? Like he knows nothing about international law, does not understand how these things work. He's just putting it out there for the sound bites because he knows this is how he's going to get the jihadi vote. This is how he gets the jihadi and the anti-Israel vote. Like, someone should have asked him. So the mayor of New York City is going to arrest Netanyahu based on what? Based on what legal mechanism or authority are you going to rely upon in order to make that arrest? It makes absolutely no sense.
You know, now that I think about it, I think he's actually being dishonest. I think he's actually doesn't believe what he's saying because the interviewer asked him, "Would you arrest him?" And he said, "I will use whatever legal authority that I have to do what I can." And he must know that he has no legal authority.
Zero legal authority.
So he must know that. So he decided to give an answer that is a crowd pleaser rather than an answer that says, like, okay, lady, I'm a mayor and I don't have that legal authority. Like, he knew that answer would not work well with the audience that he's trying to, get on his side. So he just says, he just gives you a non-answer. He's like, well, I will use whatever legal authority that I have to do what I can. Thinking, and he's being dishonest. So actually, Patrick is praising him for something that he's not actually doing. He knows he has no legal authority, and he didn't come clean and honest with the person that was asking the question. He's being sleazy. He knows it. He's being sleazy.
I mean, Patrick is someone else that I think is an idiot anyway. Like, I never watch Patrick's podcast, so I don't know.
Patrick, he's not very smart. I mean, he has some co-hosts that sometimes say something. He has one guy next to him that knows some stuff, but he is so, I don't know. He's so clueless. I don't know what people see in him.
For me, it was when he tried to insert himself into Iranian politics, and then he started criticizing Reza Pahlavi, King Reza Pahlavi. I was like, who the fuck are you? Like, no one in Iran knows who you are. No one cares about you. Like, just back off because, like, your opinion is garbage.
More importantly, that people in Iran not knowing him is that he doesn't know anything about Iranian politics. Like, zero. He has like zero knowledge about Iranian politics. And he's like, his reason for why Reza Pahlavi was not a good leader, he was like, oh, he's not a closer. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you are so, like, what is that even? Like, Oh my, yeah, he's so clueless. He doesn't understand. He doesn't even understand American politics, let alone Iranian politics. Okay, so Goldie, to be kind to your health and your throat and my throats, actually, I'm gonna end the show now. I just want to say thank you so much again for coming to my channel. And guys, I don't think I need to. I used to think I'm doing Goldie a favor by promoting her channel, but given though that her channel exploded already, I don't think she needs my promotion anyways anymore.
You're great.
But I will promote it. Not, I will promote her channel not for her sake because she doesn't seem to need it. I'm promoting her channel for your sake,
I
so
want to
that you
promote
don't miss
yours
out
as
on it.
well. I put a link to yours as well, so people who are watching on my stream, on my YouTube channel, guys, make sure that you follow Atheist Republic. He does, fantastic. Armin here does fantastic shows, and the only reason that I'm on YouTube is because you encouraged me to come. So I mean, I'm learning every day as I go, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And yeah, this is great, and always happy to come anytime.
Yeah, and guys, our schedules don't. There's no conflict within our schedules. She goes live before I go live on the English channel, so you could actually go warm up on her channel before you come to Atheist Republic. Okay,
Yeah,
so go check
I'm
it
like
out.
I'm like the how you go to a concert and then there's like the pre-show. So I'm like the pre-show, and then the main act comes
I
on
don't.
at 2 p.m.
No, I think I'm the. I think you're the main act. I'm the after show.
No, not at all. But yeah, no, this was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, thank you guys, and thank you guys for all the love that you showed us in the chat, and also thank you to all the Jew haters in the chat for the extra engagement and for giving my audience something to point and laugh at. You're always very entertaining, so thank you for being here. Okay, so I'm gonna head out, and bye guys. I'm Israel Chai, Javid Shah. Mwah. All right, we